to stage 4 of the Alpari World Match Racing Tour, the Chicago Match Cup. Taking us past the halfway stage of the Alpari Tour, the Chicago Match Cup was pivotal for the 8 tour card holders competing here. Following a tough event in Sweden for many of the top seeds, there was no clear leader, and a good performance here could shake things up yet again. That and the fact they were racing for formidable wildcards meant the sailors needed to be on top form for the week. Championship points aside, the Chicago Match Cup offers competitors a whopping $100,000 prize purse, as well as the event title for the winner. Competitors are supplied with an equally matched fleet of Tom 28 Max boats, which we'll be finding out more about later in the show. For now, though, let's take a look at the city that played host to this regatta. Here saw each team race each other in qualifying, with the top 4 advancing straight through to the quarterfinals. The bottom 8 reset their points and raced each other again in a repechage round to decide the remaining 4 quarterfinalists. Following a day of light wind for the first qualifying session, the second day was jam-packed with racing as teams made the most of the breezy conditions. Home favourite Taylor Canfield came up against last year's finalist and this year's wildcard Jordan Reese in a match that demonstrated the tactical nature of match racing. We join commentator Simon Shaw at the first top mark.
Now what Taylor Canfield's trying to achieve here is he's trying to offset his penalty before rounding the mark. So down, jibing onto port, jibing back onto starboard. Now, Taylor Campbell appealing that that was his jibe, that was his penalty. Car's not happy, although continuous whistles indicating that that penalty's still outstanding for Campfield. Big shouts from Jordan Reese, looking to try and get his bow down, backing his ship down inside Campfield. He is trimming on now. How will Taylor Canfield respond? He's setting his sails. Now, has Canfield done enough? Is he doing enough to respond? Taylor Canfield still has Jordan Reese locked outside him. A green flag from the umpires. Now Taylor Canfield calling no room in at the mark. He's going to hold up and high, try and trap Jordan Reese inside. He's back onto starboard. Taylor Canfield now forcing Jordan Reese through head to win. Now that very close tack from Canfield. I think Jordan Reese did enough. You can hear a whistle from the umpires. I think a green flag. Now here we go, Jordan Reese with the tack. Both boats coming back together. Big appeals from both skippers. Jordan Reese is on the inside.
Go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist.
Jordan Reese with the hoist. Here, umpire whistles blazing away. There's the second blue flag. He's going to have to do one straight away. So Jordan Reese sliding down the inside. Taylor Canfield going for a very aggressive move and it not working out for him. The umpires have decided he's got a second penalty. That means he has to take one straight away. That second blue flag he's managed to offset by sailing across the line of Jordan Reese. And it's Jordan Reese that comes down, take the win. Great sailing from this young team from Australia.
Canfield may have lost that one, but his team were looking as tight as ever when we caught up with them earlier in the week to talk about the Tom 28 Maxes.
All right, we're here in Chicago, Illinois, and we're here on the Tom 28 pimped out boat. These are the boats that we sail at the Chicago Match Race Center, and pretty cool boats. A little smaller than most boats on the tour, but you know, very maneuverable, very quick, and very sporty. So kind of makes everything pretty exciting out on the race course.
Downwind, I got the twings here, and I switch those from side to side, and I tend to get out, try and roll the boat. I swing it down like this, and then swing it down to the other side. And when I get time and I'm not tiding up, I try and look back and see where the breeze is as well.
That was pretty sweet. You must have some big muscles to do that.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of muscle to pull the sail up on this boat. Have to help Hayden out with it every once in a while. Can't quite always perform, but so I'm Mike Ray. I'm the jib trimmer this week on USOne, and then the spinnaker trimmer downwind as well.
As a team, we just try and be part of the new age. You know, all the older guys on the tour are a little weathered, and you know, just kind of old school. And we try and just keep it flashy, keep it fresh, keep it, you know, just in the moment. This is our crib right here in Chicago, and our Tom 28. So we're feeling pretty good about the event.
Day 3 dawned with enough breeze to get through the remaining qualifying races and get stuck into the repechage. The final races of qualifying put many teams in a must-win situation. Tension was clear as Pierre-Antoine Morvan, on the cusp of a quarter-final place, faced Will Tiller.
The love from Morvan. William Tiller needs to be careful, and there does Ister strikes for William Tiller. He's just got that second blue flag, the small luff that he wasn't ready for. He didn't respond very well. I thought he was vulnerable, and there the second blue flag. So William Tiller has to take that penalty straight away, and I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now. I think he's trying to get behind the line of Pierre-Antoine Morvan. The spinnakers both up as the boats come head to wind. William Tiller desperate to try and sail across the stern of Pierre-Antoine Morvan, which I don't think he's been able to do quickly enough. He's just done a jibe. I think he's rehoisted the spinnaker. I think he's hoping that was enough of a penalty, but it's not. And I can see the black flag is flying. That's the first time we've seen that this week. And there, William Tiller, that is the end of his race. The umpires have come in and said, you did not take that penalty quickly enough.
So at the end of qualifying, the scores looked like this. Advancing straight through to the quarterfinals were Ian Williams, Taylor Canfield, Pierre-Antoine Morvan and Bjorn Hansen. The remaining teams had one last chance to bag themselves a place in the first of the knockout rounds. The repechage took place straight after the last qualifying race, really testing the energy levels of the competitors. And if penalty flags are anything to go by, there was lots of risk-taking to get into the top 4.
Blue flag, that indicating John Wilson over the line. The flag's blazing there. Keith Swinton just received the penalty.
There were also a few nail-biting finishes, including an all-New Zealand matchup between Adam Minoprio and Phil Robertson. The scores look like this at the end of the day, with a whole host of tour card holders tied on 2 wins. The teams had the next morning to fight it out, but with no sign of wind, the tension was building.
Bit of a tough situation, I guess. We're sitting here on shore and there's nothing out behind us, no wind on the lake at all, so it's always a hard one. It's a downfall of our sport, unfortunately. It's all wind dependent, and when it's light like this, you just can't get a race away. We're either going to scrap what we've done and go straight into the semi-finals, which will put us in a bad spot, but look, we're still hoping for some breeze, and hopefully we'll get the quarterfinals in this afternoon and then carry on as it should be.
At the moment it's not looking very good, so if the wind stays the way it is, no wind out there, then we're out of the regatta, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, really.
We're feeling pretty good. You You know, of course we want to get out sailing, but if we go straight to the semis, it's not a problem for us.
We're going to have to get out there and be really switched on straight away. Yes, it's less stressful, but you've done less sailing, so I'd put a little bit towards the repechage, guys.
It's hard when you're not racing, you're just sitting on shore. You sort of want to turn off and switch off for a while and relax, but it's hard to always switch off like this. We know everyone really well, so they're all mingling around and telling stories, really. Good storytelling time.
With the last of the repechage sailed, all but one of the tour card holders made it through to the quarterfinals. Johnny Burnson was out early, a costly exit in terms of the world title. Next up, it was the quarterfinals. The skipper pick took place with the top 4 out on the water, so there was no rest for the competitors. Ian Williams selected Pierre-Antoine Morvan as his opponent. Williams was the first one through to the semi-finals with a clean sheet of 2 wins, the current world champion showing his prowess yet again. The next pairing saw Taylor Canfield racing Will Tiller. The pair secured a win each, and it took it to a decider, with Campbell coming out on top as he crossed the line and joined Ian Williams in the semi-final. Find out who'd be racing with them after the break.
It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.
It's the quarterfinal stage of the Chicago Match Cup, where the best performers of the regatta so far get the chance to knock each other out. But who has the psychological edge?
The psychological side of the sailing, it's really important, and especially in match racing.
Match racing and any sailing is really about controlled aggression.
I think like wrestling, where you meet your opponent just before, you have a look at them, you see them in the eyes.
It's everyone trying to get in each other's heads and try and get them off the pace. So whoever ends up staying strong and overcoming all that usually has a leg up in the race.
We're on the water for a long period of time each day, so your mind's always got to be on there.
Something that we've been talking about a lot this year is keeping the positive attitude on board.
There's always someone in the crew, like on our boat it's Dave Sweet, who just keeps going, come on guys, we're in the race, keep going, keep going.
You just kind of try to stay motivated, keep the boys in it and keep going.
If you let it slip for 2 minutes, that's probably going to be the race gone. And especially against these guys on the world tour, you just can't make those mistakes.
If you're a couple of penalties down, a long way behind or whatever, that you're probably not going to win, but you still give it your all, do your best, and you never know what might happen. Having the right mindset is super important, to have the right balance of aggression and control.
Trying to avoid putting people on pedestals and thinking people they're going, just calling them a colour. Like we sort of try and go away from that as much as possible. And we're just like, who are we up against? We're up against just a colour. You're not worried about who you're coming up against.
Sailing's a sport that you don't always know when it's going to start and when it's going to finish, and so building up yourself mentally for the right moment is a big challenge.
Relying on nature a bit, so you've got to know that anything can happen, and if there's a chance, you've got to be there to jump on that opportunity.
You know, we joke around in between races, but now it's pretty serious. Even if we're in front and we think we're guaranteed, we're not. It's not over till we cross the finish line.
If it's all about mind games, then the next quarter-final pairing could be proof. Bjorn Hansen triumphed when he faced Phil Robertson in the finals in Sweden. They took it to a third race to decide the winner, and Hansen was dominant from start to finish.
And it is Bjorn Hansen coming into the finish. He's still in the competition, still has a chance of getting his hand on the Chicago Match Cup.
The fourth quarter-final matchup was Adam Minoprio, who was left racing Keith Swinton. Swinton proved to be stronger, taking a second win and advancing through to the semi-finals.
Swinton out absolutely destroyed. He's slowly building his performance from that repechage round. So there, Keith Swinton down and through the line to take the win.
The Chicago Match Cup really did put the sailors to the test as racing continued on to the semi-finals on the same day. Ian Williams had first pick of opponent yet again, but would it come back to bite him?
You see how Ian Williams is much slower, but not really opening the door on either side to Swinton. And now when Ian turns up, he's almost on time. So, wow, double penalty. Now that we can get confirmation. I think both boats sailing outside of the exclusion zone.
All right.
Keith Swinton looking for the hook, but it's not going to come. And Williams, 32 seconds, perhaps 22 seconds from the line. He's got a little bit of time to waste here.
I mean, this is super close. Look at that. Did you expect Swinton to be able to send Ian Williams off like that?
I think Swinton slightly caught out Ian Williams. Now, normally you'll see Ian Williams look for the tack, look for the tack back. Here he goes. I'm not sure he's going to get that in. Now, I think Ian Williams under threat there. The green flag coming up, so the umpire's deciding Williams did enough. And as the gun sounds...
Now let's see if Williams makes the same mistake that Canfield made and lets Swinton get to the right.
The boats come up towards the top mark. There you can see the crew's fully hiked.
This boat's very powered up in just 10 knots of breeze that we have here.
Now
fully hiked out.
For the tack now. Williams is across, and actually Williams on ley line. He leads around this mark. Obviously Bill Hardesley there, the architect of the strategy. And as we say that, the spinnaker has blown forward, the halyards come undone. Disaster strikes. And here we go. Williams back clear air. Now the interesting question here for me is which mark are they going to take? It certainly appeals. Swinton looking for a luff. Has Williams done enough? There were 2 small laps. Now is Swinton in at the mark? I think we'll see Williams take.
That was brilliant move.
Gate.
A brilliant move, and that little bit of a dip, that little bit of a kite coming down gave him enough. It was an inch, it was 1 inch overlap. Let him get inside, take the right, and right now, Keith Swinton and Black Swan Racing looking spectacular. And look at that lead. No question, easy cross.
Big soak out of it, Yaxie.
And that is a big move right there. So the low percentage split goes all wrong for Ian Williams, and look who's going around first, Black Swan Racing.
And that is more than a 2-tack gain, that's for sure.
But now,
big soak now.
Williams has to come back.
Big soak now.
And it is
not
the result we were expecting. It's not the result we were expecting after the top mark. But Keith Swinton has come through. He takes the blue flag.
Swinton went on to take another win over the match racing giant, securing a place in the final. To decide who'd be joining him, Taylor Canfield faced Bjorn Hansen. The two were on 1 win each as they entered a 3rd decisive race.
Taylor Canfield taking the win.
By half a boat length, barely ekes it out, and the USOne team has advanced to the finals. Oh my Lord.
Just qualified for the finals here in Chicago, and we're pretty stoked about it. You know, it's great to have like the fans behind us here, and you know, all our families in town. So we're pretty excited about it. You know, to win a close race against Bjorn Hansen is always a good one.
So the scores at the end of the semi-finals looked like this. Home favourite Taylor Canfield is on course to be a crowd pleaser, but he'd need to beat Keith Swinton to take the event win. The Chicago Match Cup nearly had itself a winner with just the finals left to sail. The penultimate day saw race 1 completed with Keith Swinton claiming first blood. The second race took place in light conditions, and yet again Swinton took the win. But it was far from over in the first to 3 points final. Canfield managed to claw back a win, but still remained in a must-win scenario in race 4. Canfield levelled the scores at 2-2. It was down to a decider.
So as the boats separate across, Swinton off to the right-hand side, Taylor Canfield off to the left. Keith Swinton coming in here from the right-hand side. Looking across to Taylor Canfield with the yellow sails. Canfield picking up a bit of extra speed. He's across Swinton and around the final top mark. There goes the spinnaker. Taylor Canfield around the mark in front. Here comes Keith Swinton on the chase. Small luff and the hoist from Swinton. Small twist for Swinton. It's coming down now towards the finish. The crowd on the end of Navy Pier have gone silent. They're willing their champion, Taylor Canfield, towards the line. They're the jibe. Down towards the finish. And Taylor Canfield now coming down. He's pointing towards the line. The crowd begin to erupt into a sea of applause down on the end of Navy Pier. It is Taylor Canfield that has come home. He is taking this for USOne sailing. He is taking this for America. Taylor Canfield has won the Chicago Match Cup.
From the U.S. Virgin Islands and now based in Chicago, Taylor Canfield and the USOne sailing team. Let's hear a huge cheer for our 2013 Chicago Match Cup champions! He's holding the championship trophy!
We're ecstatic to win here in Chicago, and you know, it was always a dream of mine to win the Chicago Match Cup, and coming back from 2-0 was a big one for us, so it makes it that much better. So overall tour results will definitely help our ranking on the tour, and Ian Williams finishing up 4th here is a big bonus for us as well. So hopefully we'll move back up to closer to the top where we belong. And next up on the tour is stage number 5 in Bermuda, the Argo Gold Cup, and we're looking forward to going and defending that title as well. And you know, we've been sailing hard. We have a couple more match race events before then, so we'll be doing some training as a team, and we're looking forward to it.
A very close final with Taylor. Yeah, obviously, as you say, going all the races. Yeah, it was just unfortunate for us. We just couldn't quite get that 3rd win when we needed it.
We feel pretty good to finish 3rd. Actually, after that petite final race yesterday, we thought that it was over. We thought it was first to 1 point. Well, the next is Bermuda, and we're going to try to prepare as good as we can.
The Chicago Match Cup pleased the huge crowds by crowning one of its own for 2013. A memory to cherish for USOne sailing team and all at the Chicago Match Race Centre. The 4th different event winner this year means Canfield and Monoprio are tied on points, and only 9 points from Ian Williams. Hansen is also close, just 10 points from the leader. Join us for crystal blue waters and scorching sun as we head to Bermuda for the 5th stage of the Alpari World Match Racing Tour. Don't miss it.